House Fell of Fellwood is a noble house sworn to House Baratheon of Storm's End, and before them, the Storm Kings of House Durrandon. Their seat is Fellwood in the northern Stormlands. According to some sources, their arms are blazoned with a white crescent moon on black above a green field, a spruce tree line in between. While their early history has not been documented, given they were a prominent house pre-Conquest, it is safe to assume that they were also supporters of the Storm Kings of House Durrandon. Given this, it is also assumed that House Fell also descends from both First Men and Andals, given that the First Men of the Stormlands intermarried with the Andals rather than fight them. However, we cannot know this for sure until we know more about their early history. During Aegon's conquest of Westeros, Lord Fell, Errol and Buckler ambushed Orys Baratheon, Aegon the Conqueror's bastard half-brother, and his small host as they crossed the Windwater River. The lords later tried to hide in the Kingswood, but Queen Rhaenys Targaryen set the forest ablaze with her dragon Meraxes. After the downfall of the Storm Kings at the battle known as the Last Storm, House Fell bent the knee and swore fealty to Aegon's choice of Lord Paramount of the Stormlands and Warden of the East, Orys Baratheon. Later, an unknown Lord Fell was smothered in a brothel by Dornish assassins during the First Dornish War. At the onset of the Targaryen Civil War of Succession, known as the Dance of the Dragons, fought between Rhaenyra Targaryen and King Aegon II and their associated allies. When King Aegon II was first crowned king in King's Landing at the death of his father, King Viserys I, Lady Fell was executed for refusing to renounce her oaths to Rhaenyra Targaryen, sworn when Rhaenyra was named Viserys' heir many years before. Lady Fell was among many ladies and lords to do so. Despite Lady Fell siding with Rhaenyra and paying with her life, Sir Willis Fell, who had been a member of the Kingsguard of King Viserys I Targaryen, sided with King Aegon II Targaryen rather than Rhaenyra. When King Aegon II and his children were spirited away from King's Landing as the threat of the Blacks taking the capital grew, Sir Willis was given the task of bringing Princess Jaehaera Targaryen to the safety of Storm's End, which he successfully did. Sir Willis survived the war, and in its aftermath became the Lord Commander of the Kingsguard for King Aegon III Targaryen. Unfortunately, Willis died of the winter fever a few years later. In 209 AC, at the legendary Tourney of Ashford Meadow, Sir Thurgood Fell rode in the tourney. We know little of Sir Thurgood or how he performed in the tourney, as it was likely overshadowed by the events of Sir Duncan the Tall's Trial of Seven. At the beginning of Robert Baratheon's rebellion against House Targaryen, Lord Fell remained loyal to the Iron Throne, and together with Lords Grandison and Caffan, planned to join their forces to bring Lord Robert Baratheon's head to King Aerys II Targaryen. What is particularly notable about this, in siding with House Targaryen and King Aerys II, Lord Fell fought against his liege lord Robert Baratheon, which is a surprise given the long history of House Fell and House Baratheon, with both coming from the Stormlands. From a wider point of view, many would have assumed that the houses within the Stormlands would by default support Robert. It highlights just how divisive Robert's rebellion was in its early stages, as even some of the Stormlords still supported the Iron Throne. But Robert Baratheon subsequently went on to defeat them all in 3 separate battles at Summerhall, slaying Lord Fell in single combat and capturing his son, known as Silveraxe, who turned to Robert's side afterwards. We do not know if Silveraxe was the heir of Fellwood, given he plays a key role in the battle and is named in the pages of history. Some have speculated that he was. The fact that Silveraxe swapped sides after the Battle of Summerhall perhaps indicates not all of House Fell were supportive of the notion of siding with House Targaryen. During the events of the main book series, Lord Harwood Fell campaigns in the north with Stannis Baratheon, but he dies from a chill after falling into an icy river during the treacherous march on Winterfell. 4 men of House Peasbury are burned by the Queen's men after they are caught cannibalizing a corpse of a Fell man-at-arms. Given Lord Harwood was in the north with Stannis, it can be inferred that House Fell either always supported Stannis during the War of Five Kings, or if not, they sided with Renly and switched to Stannis after the death of Renly. It also means that they stayed loyal to Stannis after his defeat at the Battle of the Blackwater. After the death of Lord Harwood Fell on the march to Winterfell, we do not currently know who is the Lord of Fellwood, or even if Harwood had any heirs, and until the release of the Winds of Winter, that is all we currently know of House Fell.